I'm going to be going over how to manage hypertension through TCM Nutrition. TCM looks at hypertension in four main ways, but there could also be a combination of these pathologies. And the four are: one being retention of phlegm and damp, two, hyperactivity of the liver yang, three is yin deficiency of the liver and kidney, four is blood stasis blocking the collaterals, and the Western diagnosis is simply hypertension. Since there are multiple different types of TCM diagnoses of hypertension, I'll need to focus on one when it comes to formulating a TCM nutrition dish that can help a particular diagnosis. So I chose a combined pattern, which is liver yang rising with retention of phlegm and damp, and the clinical presentations are listed below. This patient would present with blurred vision, irritability, flushed face, bitter taste in the mouth. They could have accompanying side rib discomfort, which is hypochondriac pain. This person could be possibly overweight. They'll complain of distending and heaviness sensations in the head, nausea, poor appetite, and the tongue coating would be greasy and the pulse would be rolling. A classic herbal formula that would be great for this patient would be Bancha Baitsu Tenya Tang. The star ingredient for my chosen meal is going to be bitter gourd, and it's also known as bitter melon and bitter cucumber. I found a great research article that looks at the effects of bitter melon extract on 47 adults. And everyone involved in the study was blinded, meaning the researcher and the patients did not know which people were getting bitter melon or the placebo capsule. And the results showed a significant decrease of LDL levels in bitter melon extract group. And that's really great because in the TCM perspective, the excess buildup in high amounts of LDL in the arteries is viewed as phlegm and damp accumulation. So bitter gourd is a great food item to incorporate into the diet to clean off those arterial walls and to also decrease the cascade of LDL plaque accumulation. And then in turn, you'll get lower blood pressure. The TCM nutritional properties of bitter gourd are bitter and cool, goes to the liver, spleen, heart, and lung, and because bitter gourd is cool and goes to the liver, it can help with the symptoms linked to liver yang rising, such as irritability and flushed face. It can also cool down the internal heat. And to bring it all together, incorporate bitter gourd into the diet to lower LDL in the blood to prevent plaque formation, which can lower blood pressure. And this is done by the blood will become less viscous, so the arteries will not need to contract as hard to move blood. And less fatty buildup can allow the arteries to expand and contract better. I found a Chinese recipe that uses bitter gourd in a stir fry. It's called stir-fried bitter gourd with eggs, and you'll need 2 eggs, 1 bell pepper, 3 garlic cloves, a half of bitter gourd, and half an onion. I chose a simple recipe so that anyone can do this in no time at home. Alright, I'll show you how to make it. Start with collecting your ingredients, which is the egg, garlic, bell pepper, onion, and bitter gourd. Then wash the ingredients. Cut the bitter gourd in half. Remove the seeds with a spoon and then chop the other ingredients. Cut the bitter gourd into small thin slices. Everything is prepped and ready to go on the skillet. Get the skillet hot and add your favorite cooking oil. I added bitter gourd and the bell pepper first, then onion. Then about 3 minutes later, I added garlic. Then for seasoning, I added garlic powder, and I sprinkled seasoned salt very lightly, some pepper for extra flavor. Mix it all together, then put a lid on for a few minutes. And here I added the 2 eggs and I let it sit there for a minute and then I mixed it all together. And after about a minute of cooking, it's ready to be served.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
You do? That's good.
Tastes like a healthy breakfast.
Mm-hmm. It does.